Hey, I think we're live. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Wow, it seems like forever since we've been here, but it actually, in case you've been living under a rock, we didn't make it on last weekend last Monday night, because we were all traveling to get home from an amazing Empower Network event that was in Orlando. And that event, going to tell you, it was just freaking incredible, wasn't it, gang? Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you who weren't able to make it, that okay, that's fine. It's gone, it's past. But I'm going to tell you right now, we can't wait to meet and see you guys in Myrtle Beach on January 23rd and 24th, 2015. Because I'm going to tell you, events really do change the way you go about your business. Period. That's it. Okay, so let's get back to tonight. Again, I want to welcome you to the top motivational hangout on the net. And we couldn't be more happy to have you join us. And in return, we promise to give you 1 hour of pure value to assist you in reaching your goals, your dreams, your freedom. That's what it's all about. And if you're new here, please be sure to introduce yourself in the chat roll. We would all love to meet you. Tonight's topic, how to get rich in your niche. Now, some of you are probably going to say niche. Niche, I'll probably say both. But anyway, however you say it, you all know what that's about. So anyways, so many of you have all this pressure on your shoulders or in your head that you have to be the best at your niche in order to talk about it. And tonight we are going to take that pressure off of you. Kind of like releasing, when your radiator cap, when it's hot under the hood of the car and you go, yeah, we're going to get rid of that pressure for you because you don't need it. You do not need to know everything about your niche in order to be successful and to make a boatload of money. Money, I'm just going to put it right out there. I'm going to tell you the one thing because the other girls are going to talk about this too, but money is earned by the value you bring to your niche and to the marketplace. It's easy and it's simple. So if you're allowed to earn income, and a sizable income at that, especially after you gain more expertise in your niche, then why is there all this pressure? What's it all about? Why do you put pressure on yourself? Well, I've had a few conversations with people, and I'm just going to boil it down to like a pretend conversation that I've had. So here we go. So somebody will say, Nettie, my goal is to someday blog and speak about my niche. But Nettie, I've done my research, and I don't think I can do that. Buzzer. Okay, that is so wrong, because where have you done your research? You've gone to the internet to do your research. And when you get on the internet, it's kind of like when you've got a sore knee or something, and you think, okay, you go to the internet and you Google it in there like, I have a sore knee, what does this mean? And when you walk away, you find out that you've got 30 days to live. It's just, we're the same way with the business. So hypothetically, let's just say you were someone who teaches people on Facebook marketing, branding, and some kind of strategies to promote themselves. Conversation. Nettie, everybody does that. Well, first of all, that's not true. Everybody doesn't do that. Nettie, well, the people that I Googled, they know way more than I do, and I can't even compete with them. And I have to go back to selling furniture to churches. You like selling furniture to churches? No. Is that what you want to do every day for the rest of your life? When you look up at the clock, you can't believe that you have stopped because you want to sell one more pew to a padre? No. Okay then, we're not going to do that. We're going to go back. Let's take this example of Facebook marketing. If this is in fact what you want to do, and probably most of you out there are saying, well, Nettie, that isn't what I want to do, so just insert your area of expertise, whatever it is. If it's dog grooming, hairstyling, uh, whatever, hypnotherapy. But stick it in there, whatever you're doing, okay? And anything that you want to do. And I preferably, the more specialized, the better, because generalists get paid, specialists get wealthy. Now, I do motivational blogs, videos, hangouts, and it took me a while to figure out my niche. And a lot of people are ahead of that game. They already know what their niche is. The whole thing that I don't know everything there is to know, and other people know more than I do, well, I can relate to that if you haven't found your niche yet. But let me give you a real-life example of me. So back a few years ago, back in the day when I thought, okay, I hated my job. I've always hated the job, okay? So I thought, okay, I'll get started into something else that I want to do. And I read this ad in the newspaper, and it was like, sell earrings to salons. So I looked into it, and man, it was like a moth to a flame. I was sucked in like you wouldn't believe, I thought. So I went and I spent $5,000 on 1,000 pair of earrings. And you're going, shit, did she just say what I thought she said? Yes, I did. I spent $5,000 for 1,000 pair of earrings, and I would go around and put these earrings on stands in salons or in spas or someplace that, a little business that people would be in there a lot. And each week I would go back and pick up my $3.47 that I made from this and refill the one spot that was vacant from someone purchasing a pair of earrings. So finally, after months of this, I sat down and I said, okay, Nettie, you are a loser. You messed up. You did something really stupid. Now, having an idea to generate an income wasn't stupid, but boy, buying 1,000 pairs of earrings, thinking that everyone who went to get their hair done needed an extra 25 pair of earrings to go with their wardrobe, that was a dumb idea. So, myself, I had tops, maybe 5 pairs of earrings, because we all have our favorite. And what made me think that somebody else would want to buy a pair of earrings for every day of the week, or the year for that matter, because I had enough of them? Not smart. Don't do something stupid like that again, Nettie. And people had been telling me for years that I was good at motivating and inspiring. And did you notice I said I was good? I wasn't great. I said good. So I said to myself, you know what, Nettie? Get a blog and start writing and doing videos, because some people are going to read it, they're going to listen to it, and they are going to love it. And I did this because I already knew who my niche was. It was people exactly like me. That's your niche. People that can relate to what you want to talk about. I'm not interested in the CPA with an MBA who's excited that they get to log in every day and see if their 401k company match value went up 1% this year. That's not my marketplace. The individual who desperately wants the gold watch after 35 years of service and abandoned his family to get it, that isn't my marketplace. I knew who I was writing and speaking to. I knew I didn't need to know everything. I just needed people to read and hear my message and say, hey, I really dig that dudette, as opposed to dude, and her writing. She's a little bit off her rocker, but hey, I can relate to that too because I'm a little bit off my rocker. So I didn't need to be the greatest motivational writer in the world. As a matter of fact, I'm not. But I have a great following that is growing daily. You guys included, all you guys out there. In my opinion, this panel has the best fans in the world. Seriously, I just think you're all awesome. You don't have to know everything about your niche. You don't. So let's go back to the Facebook marketing example that we talked about a little bit ago. If you start looking at people on the internet, you are going to say, they know more than I do. Of course, there's always going to be somebody that knows more than you do. But is there somebody out there that doesn't know what you do? Whoa, yeah, but. No, no, no. I didn't ask for a yeah, but. Could it be possible that there's somebody out there that doesn't know how to market on Facebook? Yeah, Nettie, you're right. So what are you focused on then? Why don't you do a video, a blog, an ebook for that person in mind? Why are you always thinking about how much you don't know? Why are you always arguing about your limitations? Is it because somebody told you that some time ago? Hmm? Well, I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to relieve you of that. I am moving you on and granting you permission now to go out and let everybody know how much you know about your niche. And you don't need to know more than the next person. You can make a ton of money, and more importantly, you can add a lot of value. If we all agree that money is what you earn for the value you bring, which we do, you can add a heck of a lot of value to somebody's life just with that small thing that you know. And don't leave the field until the harvest comes in. You understand that concept, that meaning? Don't start doing a blog, a video, an ebook, giving advice, and nobody buys. It's been a week. Oh, Lord, it's been a week and nobody has bought. I think I need to move on to something else. No, you keep grinding it out like I had to do and everyone else on this panel has to do. Every day, all 5 that you see us sitting here, we're grinding every day. I knew what I was doing was what I needed to do for my niche. I always knew that. If I kept giving this message, they would show up. And you know what? They did. Gosh darn it, I stayed in the field and the harvest began to show up. Wow. Was I the greatest motivational writer? Did I know as much as Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Helen Hayes, Marie Forleo? No. Did I know as much as those guys? No. Do you have to know as much as the top leaders in your industry? No. Think about it. Your idols, in whatever niche you are in, have been around for years and years. I wasn't going to pretend that I knew as much as they knew. I wasn't going to do that. But I used their information and just related it to my story, the Nettie and Sam story. And I brought it to the marketplace. And that's all you have to do. I don't care what it is. If you want to teach about health and wellness, if you want to teach about diet and exercise, lawn and gardening, cooking, legal, animal rescue, there are millions of different things that you can do right now. But what you can't do is allow other people get inside of your head and, I'm sorry, get inside of your head when you're going to a seminar that someone else in your niche hosted and feels like the speaker brought their A game and you feel you can compete. How do you even know who your personal market is until you get really clear about what it is that you're putting out? This is your product and this is your service and this is how much I'm going to get the message out there. If you don't try, I'm sorry, you'll never know. You'll never know what you know. And I guarantee you that if you don't try, someone else is going to come along and they aren't going to know any better. They are going to have a little bit more conviction and they are going to know what they don't know. They're going to believe they actually do have something to bring to the marketplace. And they are going to sell the exact same product as you were going to sell. They know they are going to be successful because they know they are going to add value. And that's the end of mine. I hope it resonated with a few of you out there. at this point in time, I just a minute, I haven't been checking my phone, but oh, I see. Okay. Um, okay, so Sherry, I want Sherry, bring Sherry out right now. We can't see Sherry because she's got problems with her internet out in British Columbia, but she wants to talk to us. So Sherry, take it away.
Thank you so much, Nettie, and I do apologize about the video. The internet's been in and out here all day today, and for some reason, as soon as I turn on my video camera, I get kicked out. So this is the best we can do for today. I loved everything that you had to say, and so much of that was my story too. And so much of what you said is the story of, I think, many, many entrepreneurs. And one of the things that I really had to wrap my head around is as soon as someone would ask me what my niche was, I'd almost go into this panic mode because I was not wanting to even claim a niche because I then thought that I had to be an expert in that niche and wasn't ready to claim that I actually had a lot of knowledge around anything either. So one of the things that I would encourage people to do is to look at you. You are your market, and look at who you talk to. Look at the kinds of books that you like to read. Look at the conversations, like analyze the conversations that you like to have, because that's where your expertise lies. And what I discovered is other people actually told me what my expertise was. I mean, I've always worked with energy, and I've always been able to help direct people's mindsets and help them reframe things and help them move blocks out of the way. That was all just easy to me. So that was too easy. That couldn't be my niche. That couldn't be my calling, because that's just what I did naturally. And what I encourage people to do is look at what you are drawn to naturally, because that's probably your greatest gift. It's either going to be what you do naturally, or what I find too is it's the place where you've had the most struggle. So the people that I found that are really great at coaching people through financial blocks are people that have created a lot of financial turmoil, or the people that are really great at helping people unlock relationship issues are the people that have been through a lot of relationships and have had to unlock a lot of those kinds of things for themselves. So look at your own life, look at your own journey, and recognize that that's where your gold is, and that's where your niche is, and that's where your expertise is. And like I was saying, like I always thought that I had to be like the premier expert on anything before I actually could say anything. And what you need to understand is that you have an unique perspective, and you've got an experience of life that will take you far and will actually serve the people that are drawn to work with you. That's how it works. The struggles that you have are the very things that help you help other people. The other thing that I had to really wrap my head around was I only needed to be one step ahead of the people I was serving. I didn't have to have it all mapped out. I didn't have to know everything. I just needed to be one step ahead, which is why that concept of learn, do, and teach is so powerful. Because as you learn something and you do it and then you teach it, it like reinforces it in you so that now it becomes part of your makeup, part of your DNA, and now it is legitimately part of your expertise. So learn, do, and teach is hugely valuable. Look at the things that you're curious about. Look at the things that draw your attention. Like for me, I just, like I was saying, I always just was able to notice where people were locking themselves up and were jamming themselves up into limitation. That was just super easy for me. That was obvious to me, so I made the mistake of thinking that everybody could see it that way too. Or I made the mistake that everybody thinks that way. It's obvious. Well, it actually isn't. It's only obvious to you. You're the only one that's had that set of life circumstances. So look at what you already know. Hugely, hugely valuable. Like I did all of this spiritual work, I did all of this energetic work, and yet I was trying to force myself into a completely different niche because I thought initially that it was uh, what's the word? More respectable, more readily received, more legitimate. That's the word I'm looking for. And if it's not authentically you, that comes through loud and clear. If it's not authentically you, you will never rise to the top of anything that you're doing, because it's not going to be particularly fun. You're trying to create this false persona that's not you, and people read not when you're not authentic. So just be you. Just be you, and start with you. Start with looking at your life. What do you like? Who do you like to talk to? What do you like to learn? What are you drawn towards? And then look at you as your ideal target market. What would you be looking for? In fact, what are you looking for? What are you searching for online? And start providing that value for other people. And a lot of what I was going to say is similar to what Nettie said so beautifully, so I'm not going to reiterate a lot of that, but just really trust that you are your best, wisest counsel when it comes to finding your niche. Look at you. Look in the mirror and start questioning your life. So back to you, Nettie. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sherry, thank you. That was awesome. I mean, I'm writing down some of your points, and what great pointers you gave us too. Like, just be yourself and figure out what you like to do. People try to invent the wheel or something when they're looking for their niche, and all they have to do is look in the mirror, just like you said a couple of times. I mean, it's the truth. And for me, I found out earrings wasn't my niche, so, you know, but anyways, but thank you so much.
And it's easy to branch out, but you know, most people get hung up just getting started. So just start there. You can, and know that your niche will find you, even if you don't know what it is right this second.
Yeah.
Just start, and just start writing about the things that are of interest to you, and you will find it. It'll find you.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, because that happened to me when I got into this business, Empower Network. Absolutely. So I see we've lost Shirley. She was struggling to stay on too, but Zen, baby, we got you here, and you're muted, so you might want to take yourself off mute before you start. Atta girl.
There we go. That always helps, because you know you can say a lot of words, but if nobody hears them, what's the point, right? So while listening to Sherry, I mean, I had made a few of my own notes, but I was listening to Sherry, and I thought about my first, what I call my incarnation, which was what some people don't know about me. When I was 15, I went to hairstyling school, because I grew up in a household where they didn't believe that, women went to college. I later went, but I thought, well, I'm going to be a hairstylist. That's a cool thing to do for a living. Get to play with people's hair and create. And it was fun. But one thing that I really didn't expect was the second that you get your hands in people's hair, and I have this in my professional bio now for hypnotherapy, it unlocks something for people, because most people only have their hair and head massaged by either their spouse or maybe their children. This very intimate act, and so it opens up this personal vulnerability spot where if they trust you, stuff comes out that they may not disclose to their best friends. And so I found myself in the unique position at 17, 18 years old of people being in my chair and asking me, what did I think of this situation? And like Sherry, I always had the energy to kind of assess from, I don't even know where. I guess I pulled it from the universe, just watching their energy and seeing how they might have talked to this person and how they explained their situation, and I'd reframe it for them. And it was very helpful. And I noticed that it was very helpful, and people would come back to me, and when we'd get up to the register, I'd say, okay, that's 60 for the cut and blow dry, and that'll be another 60 for the advice, and they'd start laughing. But they always tipped me very heavily and said, you got something there. And it's true. We all have a gift, and now I shifted that into hypnotherapy, and God knows, I've got certificates in nutrition, I've got a yoga certificate, I've got certificates in NLP, in oh gosh, all kinds of modalities, timeline therapy. I have them all in little frames, and I found that when I took them down off the wall, I felt better about myself. I don't need letters to prove anything. And it got real interesting then, because people just look at you and they can feel the experience, they can feel the energy, and they don't need to have it justified either. But when I first started thinking about my niche, I would read everybody else's emails, because I got on everybody else's capture pages, and I'd go, yeah, that doesn't feel like something I would say. But maybe a few sentences or bullet points that they would put in did resonate. And so if they did, I would go, I'm going to take that and I'm going to reword that little section right there. And then I would find myself writing from myself, from my own heart, what I felt about this business. Because this business has kind of opened up hypnotherapy for me. I mean, I have a hypnotherapy blog other than the Empower Network blog, and people see it, and I have my bio there, and I talk about this business there as well. And I put up some videos there, and I've gotten clients that way. But this business has kind of opened up who I am and how I do my hypnotherapy. So I think what's happening for me, anyway, what's resonating for me is, yes, go find the people who are like you. And my friends always tell me, you're so freaking unique. How would you find people like you? Well, like Nettie, yeah, I can be a bit of a badass, and I'm a bit of an edgy son of a bitch sometimes. But that doesn't mean that there aren't women out there who feel that way about themselves also. They may be, just couched and portraying themselves in a different way, but when they read my stuff, they go, oh yeah, I get that. I see what she means. Yeah, I could do this. Oh yeah, I'm a single parent with teens, and I want to spend time with them before they say, hey, I'm off to college and see you later. Can you watch my dog? I'm sure there are other women like that, and I'm sure that they could relate to wanting to create something that's sustainable for themselves and to help keep your kids close. It's no joke that when you have some money, your kids stay a little bit closer to you. You can go on vacations with them. You can, help them out. Maybe get them in business with you, which is my greatest hope, that my kid goes to college and then realizes that, the most fun would be had with me doing a business and blogging too, because she's a good little writer now. So some of the things that I think create the niche that I am and I'm looking for is single parents, but I don't leave out the male population on that one, because there are men who are single parents and could probably relate to wanting to start something up so that they can keep their kids close. There's always somebody who does know more than you on specific subjects, but I'll tell you again, it's something Sherry said, and I thought it was funny. The people, funny, not ha-ha either, funny in that the people who go into relationship therapy or other things that she mentioned, they've had to unlock it for themselves. Well, the fact is that I work with a lot of people who, come in for relationship issues. Interestingly enough, relationship/sexual issues. Relationship, sexual issues, and so I don't get the mainstream quit smoking. I don't get the nail biters. I don't get those people as much as I get people who want to go really in depth and learn about themselves. And I find that really interesting, because those are the things that I always read about. I always read about what's the differences in the sexes? How do they interact? What's so interesting about it? What's so not so interesting? How does this work? How does he make it function out there in life? And those are some of the things that I incorporate a little bit of the energy into what I write in some of my emails. Not necessarily about that topic, but confidence, motivation, defining what your game is and staying on top of it, having your mojo, reading your own energy so that you can output energy in the world and have it read the way that you want to portray yourself out there. And, your energy imprint is just as strong as, money is energy also. So it's kind of opening up that channel of energy so you allow yourself to flow and allow the money to flow. And the best way to do that is to be yourself and write about what you are. And that will attract the correct people. Now, interestingly enough, I always have heard, just be yourself, and I thought, wow, who else could I be? I've always felt a little bit like and I'll give you for instance, there was two women who used to do this workshop that they would come up with a style statement, a signature for you, 2 words. They were Canadian. And I used to write a blog called Edgy Dreamer, and they said, oh, no, you can't use that because that's too ethereal words. No, one of them has to be rooted. And I went, yeah, no. Edgy Dreamer is the name of my blog. It's staying that way. And if that defines me as somebody who's too ethereal, then I guess that's what I am and who I am, and I have to define that as part of who I am. Because I'm not going to pretend to be somebody else so that it defines me in a different way. So as ethereal as Edgy Dreamer sounds to someone else, to me it is who and how I am. And of course that's up to interpretation, but the people who will resonate with that will be attracted, just like they used to read my personal blog. And at that point, I only wrote about things that interested me day to day. And I still had a huge following. So interestingly enough, when it came to finding a niche here, similar to Sherry, for a moment I thought, I've got to find a different niche, something a little bit more specific to this industry, as opposed to who I am. And I found that that's not true. Who I need to be is exactly who I am. And that's who will become attracted to me and work with me and want to hear the words that resonate with them. Because while there are many leaders in this industry, some I hear them speak and I go, yeah, I totally get it and I totally get why they're a leader. And others I hear and I think, I'm not connecting. I don't know why. I'm not connecting. It's not about them. It's not about me. Simply not connecting. And so, you know, there's that bit about what resonates for you individually. And of course, being at the Empower event last weekend, it's real interesting when they have a group of speakers, one after another, come up on stage, and you find who you resonate with. It's certain traits that resonate within you. And you can, not that they're exactly like you, but you start thinking, yeah, I feel what she's feeling. I hear what he's saying, and I feel that. I get that. And that's how you kind of connect with who you are, how you are, and how you can, you don't need to repackage yourself. Your niche is who you are. And so, yes, I can sit down and say I'm a single parent of a teenager, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm this, I'm that. And as soon as I'm clear on all those things, that's where my emails resonate from. And I wrote a blog about it today, in fact, because I dictate my blog posts into my phone. And I find that so on the go and so happening for me that I can cut and paste it and write a blog post in 15 minutes. And I think that that's awesome. But it's because I can catch myself in the moment and go stream of consciousness and say what I want to say. And it's coming right from the heart, and I don't change much. I just grammatically fix it up and post. And it feels good. It feels awesome. And that, when I send that out to my list, whoever opens it and reads it, if they resonate with it, I know that they'll say, oh yeah, okay, good. Let me email her back now. And that's what'll happen. That's what does happen. And I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to get to. Yeah. So back to you, Nettie.
Just had to take you off mute there, Zen. As usual, your badassery came out there, Zen, and you kicked it. I mean, we all come at this at such a different level. And I always love hearing what level that you're going to bring to the table. And when you talked about, resonating with certain people and that, I really found that at the event. There were some stories on stage that got told, and that was me. I could look at that person and go, that was me. And the same with you, and the same with Erica and Shirley. And the point that we're trying to make here tonight is that there's somebody out there that started down here, and they just kept telling their story and adding more and more value to it. And now they're on stage, which is where all of you guys can be. Don't be afraid of that. So start thinking about what you can offer to people. So thank you, Zen. Thanks very much. Shirley May, are you with us or not?
I haven't been able to decide all night if I wanted to join the Hangout or not, so I'm really sorry about that. I kept bouncing off and on, but as long as you can hear me, give me a thumbs up and I'll just kind of dive in.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, learning about what a niche is. When I first learned about it, it really fascinated me, and it pretty much was the thing that took me from building my business, feeling lost, just kind of doing anything, throwing it up there, seeing what sticks, to after learning it, building my business on purpose and with clarity. I found so much clarity after I learned about what a niche is. So tonight I basically want to talk about what my niche is, give you guys some examples of how I've been watching on how niches work. And for those of you out there who may not even know what the meaning of the word niche is, I want to cover that because I feel that there are some of you out there who are so basic, who are just like me, who had to look it up in the dictionary. So I'll kind of cover, generally, if you're in business, you're looking for people who want change in their life. You're looking for people who want to learn something new, to reach their goals, and you're looking for people who still believe in their dreams. So that's whether they're husbands or moms, young, old, travelers, homebodies, etc. And how we bring out that desire in people, in our target audience, is by our story. So I'm going to share, we don't have too much time tonight, but I'm going to share certain parts of my story tonight, and I want you to pay close attention to all the niches, I don't know how to say that, to all the niches that I could market to, and see if you can get ideas and just kind of see if you can pick up on how this can work for you. So starting out, left home at 16 because I was frustrated about not having a voice, not being able to get my questions answered. I didn't like the hypocrisy of the Amish, and in my home had a lot of bitterness towards men, just because women were typically not allowed to speak up or be unique. So the message was basically to conform was to be godly, and to try to be different was prideful. So, and also my mom had died when I was 8, so I didn't get properly schooled in how to be that, demure, modest little Amish girl who just followed all the rules. So I'm going to finish the rest of my story at the end. I just want to take a break and dissect at who I'm speaking to here in my ad copy and videos and blog posts. Because if you've been following along with my story, you know that I talk about my past a lot, and it's for a specific reason, which you'll find out right now. So obviously who I'm speaking to is women, right? Women who have not had a voice, perhaps had religious suppression, maybe they're young women, women who dream about more for their life, women who have had to free themselves from awful situations. And so the next question is, how do you find these women? So what you need to think about is, what Facebook pages would they like? What groups are they going to be hanging around? And what speakers or books, what speakers have they been listening to, and what books have they been reading? Right? So if you really think about it, you can find these women in specific parts of the online world, right? Next part of my story, started in network marketing, a business at 17, failed miserably, hated cold calling, doing dials, hated the rejection I got, right? Felt like giving up on my dream because, I had left the Amish, had so many dreams, and then boom, I had rejection again. Discovered internet marketing, felt like giving up again and throwing my computer out the window. Had to learn how to first even turn my computer on. So again, who am I speaking to here? People like myself who are ready to learn how to build a business online and are sick of the traditional burned out way of prospecting. So I'm speaking to people who think online marketing is hard, and presto, right? My story of being Amish and still being able to succeed online is directly speaking to their problem, and that it may be easy for them to do anyway. right? So instead of chasing after people, pitching your business, my message there would be you can get leads and sales online with your network marketing business by speaking to people who are like you, who are into the same things that you are, and who want your life by solving, their problems. So again, this could be young or old. Here, my niche is basically people who suffer from techie overwhelm, so men or women. So just to give examples, if I were to target, let's say, Ramway, people who are, sick of bugging their friends and family who are in Ramway, I could target Ramway men, Ramway women who are young moms, or actually no, because I'm not a mom, but I'm giving examples here. You could go really deep with this. You could, if you're a young mom in Ramway and you want to talk to other young moms, maybe you do crafts and love creating things, or maybe you're traveling and love to party, right? So, whatever your thing is, you can get really, really super targeted. You can get as targeted as you like, but you have to do your research first. Because what I found when I started Facebook marketing and learning how to find my niche, tell my story, is that the people I thought would resonate with me didn't, and the people that I didn't think would resonate with me did. So it was a huge wake-up call to me to realize that I have to put my ego aside and just do my research. Just play around. And so tonight, like the other ladies have said, take the pressure off yourself. Let yourself have fun. Do some research, get creative, see where this takes you, and just play around with it. There's more parts to my story, but I won't share them all tonight because we don't have time, and it's really not about my story. It's about you seeing the stark, raw examples of what I'm doing in my business, what we're all doing in our businesses, by utilizing our stories with our niches. So how many people are out there right now who are struggling with the exact same thing that you are? How many people do you think are out there who are like you, that love to sew or love to work out, love to ride horses or love traveling or love having kids or love weekends? So how many of them then do you think don't get to do those things that they love doing? How many of them barely get to do those dream things they love doing anymore? And what I'm talking about here is bridge marketing. How many of them would love to have a business they work 2 to 3 hours a day so that they could spend all day loving on their kids or doing their sewing or going on their trips? So guys, it is your duty right now to find your niche. And yes, this is about finding the riches and the niches, but it's also more than that. You have lives to change, you have niches to serve, and your problems are given to you for a reason. And why? Why were you given those problems? It's because people out there need you to succeed. Because if it weren't for you, there are hundreds of people out there in those little niches, right, that only you can find, that won't be living their dreams if you don't take action right now. So click the link below, get back to the person who sent you here, and I want you tonight to take this homework seriously and make a list of your niche. I would suggest just pick one to start with, run with it, and we'll see you at the top. We'll see you also next week. And back over to you, Nettie.
Wow. Shirley, folks out there listening to that, can you believe that all came out of a 21-year-old? She never ceases to amaze me on her brilliant knowledge. So well done. So what a novel idea to talk about. One thing that you all should know out there is that we don't get together and discuss who's going to say what. We never know what the other person is going to come out with. And look at her. She just gave you a list as long as to the moon and back on different niches that you can look at your own life. Because I know there's people out there that could resonate with one thing that she said out there, one section of her story. And she showed you how to get that niche and how to approach it and how to think about it. So she gave you a good homework assignment too. So yeah, do it, because you know what? She's only trying to help you with your business. And that's why you're here. You want help. So she gave you great advice. So on that note, I'm going to move it over to Miss E over there on when I look at it, you're on my far left, who gets up in the middle of the night to be with you, all of you out there. So thank you so much, Erica. You're a rock star. I can't even.
Gorgeous.
I have trouble getting my butt out of bed to meet those 7 o'clock meetings. So you just blew me away with this. So take it away.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. I always say, the alarm goes off at 2:30, and sometimes I do. I look at my iPhone. I'm like, am I getting up? And then this one voice comes into my head all the time. If I can just reach one person with my message, it's worth getting up, and that's why I do it. And it means so much to me to be here. And I'm just laughing because I'm. Sometimes it's really hard to follow you guys. Like you just come out with these awesome nuggets, and to our viewers, I hope you don't mind, but I just literally had to PM the team. As they're talking, like, damn, you just kicked ass. I have to watch this replay because there were so many golden nuggets in every single section that if you replay this hangout maybe 5 times, I swear you are going to get the awesomeness of the value that was presented tonight. Finding a niche can be one of the biggest struggles that anyone brand new into this industry can face. And every single person on the hangout has already covered the golden nuggets of how to find your niche. They just all kicked it. So what do I say? How do I follow that? Really, really difficult. And all of my notes, kind of look silly now. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to share this with you. And it's the best advice I can ever give you. They've all told you, go after you, okay? Look in the mirror and work out how can I attract more people like me to me, okay? So my niche market, who's my niche market? Well, if you don't know my story, I was that clueless newbie just 3 years ago. I didn't even know about internet marketing. I never had a Facebook account. I didn't know what Twitter was. All I knew, and if you know my story, this is hilarious, all I knew about Twitter was it was something that Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher did together, but I didn't know what, okay? I was that dumb. I was the dumbest person who could ever have hit this industry. Dumb, so dumb. And I play on that sometimes. I talk about the dumb blonde, but hey, it works for me because I was that dumb blonde. When I started, so dumb. I didn't even know how to put a link in a blog. I did not know what a blog was. I did not know what blogging was. I knew it was something from a movie called Julie and Julia. That's as much as I knew about blogging when I started in this industry. So who do you think my niche market is going to be? Clueless newbies just like me who are petrified about putting their fingers on a keyboard and saying something. How do you step up, okay, and look like someone that other people would want to join when you are that clueless, okay? So what did I decide to do? Darlings, I went after more people just like me. I went after those petrified newbies who didn't even know where to put their fingers on a keyboard and start talking. Okay, that's my niche. Me 3 years ago, and it will always be my niche. I don't want to change. I don't want to change niches. I love my niche. I love my babies. I love my new people. I love my people who take that huge leap of faith and go, you know what, I'm going to give this internet marketing thing a go. And I love my babies. When they come on fresh, they come on brand new, that's my niche. It will always be my niche. So what do I tell these people to do? Okay, if you can't quite find the confidence to go after the niches that the team have talked about, your passions, your interests, your hobbies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you know the best thing you can do? And the girls mentioned this. Learn something, do it, then teach it. Because let me tell you something. If you've been in this business 1 week, you know 7 days worth more of information than the person who is getting on today. Okay? Don't tell anyone you're brand new. They don't need to know. They don't need to know you've been around 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. They don't need to know unless it's part of your story that you want to share. When you step up and you teach something that you've just learned, in that brand new person's eye, you are a guru. You are an expert. Okay? And let me tell you something. When Alex and I got started, we didn't have any support. Like, we didn't have anyone around us to help us. We were completely alone. We're down there in New Zealand. We were alone, like we just felt abandoned. So we had to learn everything by ourselves. We had to go out there and find the information. And what happened was when we were out there searching for information, some of it was really bad. It was really bad information. Like YouTube and Google became our best friends because we had no one to turn to. We couldn't say, to someone like, hey, how do I do such and such? There was no one there. Okay, so Google and YouTube became our very best friends, and what we discovered was there's a lot of crap training out there. And I'm like, okay, it took me 6 weeks to learn how to do this thing, but I know I can teach it in 6 minutes. So what did I do? I would do a training video and teach that thing that took me 6 weeks to learn. I would teach it in 6 minutes and say, hey, bam. I probably had only been in the industry about 3 months before I started doing that, and people looked at me like an expert. Why? Because I'd been around 3 months longer than they were at that point in time. One of the other things I did, and people think I'm crazy, but I built a training platform for a team I didn't have. And like Nettie said, and this was awesome, like Nettie said, just start creating stuff and your people will turn up, okay? So we started creating a training platform for a team we didn't have because we knew they were going to come. If you build it, they will come. So every stupid little things like how to put an image in Aweber, we do a training on that. How to do those cool designs on images, we'll do training on that. And for those of you in the team, you already know this already. There's like about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of files in our files section, and the minute someone new asks a question, bam, there you go, hit that training. You know what I mean? And we started to become the experts in the newbie niche. Newbies knew that if they came to us, if they came to Tilt, we hadn't called it then, it was just Team Alex and Erica back then, but if they came to us, they're not going to get handheld, but they knew they would get information. They knew they wouldn't get left high and dry. They knew that they would have access to the information they needed in an instant to get moving. Why take 6 weeks to learn something when you can learn it in 6 minutes? So that became our niche. So darlings, if you're out there and you're struggling to have the confidence to step into your niche right now, I beg you, start building your training base. Start training. Turn that camera on and start teaching people what you already know. That is the quickest way for you to look like a guru. I swear it's true. One of the other big mistakes I made in the beginning was I was pretending to be someone else. I thought I had to be a certain way. And when I realized that, hey, kooky, goofy Erica, she's fine, she's cool, dang, I just let that thing go. And I'm just me. Now all you get is me. I will never be anything else but me now. But in the beginning, I thought I had to put on a certain little stereotypical hat and sound like so-and-so or act like so-and-so or do, something like this. No, that didn't fly. It never flied for me. The minute my stuff flew was when I started just being me. Because, hey, you know what? It's really hard to fake being yourself because eventually you're going to come out of the closet somehow, right? So it's better to just be you, because what you see is what you get. And in this industry, that's a beautiful thing. That is so beautiful. The most authentic version of you stepping up on a daily basis is the most beautiful thing you can bring to this industry. Now, once you've started building that training platform, magically what seems to happen is your niche just evolves. And all of a sudden, that authentic voice that you were kind of too timid to bring out to the marketplace, it just starts coming out. I wrote a post on Facebook the other day. I said, stand up for something, for God's sake. Stand up for something you believe in. The Erica of like 3 years ago, she never would have said something like that. She would have been like, being all prim and proper and making sure that, she didn't, I don't know, cause waves or whatever. But no, when you've been around for a little while, you start to speak like Nettie. Nettie and her Nettieisms, damn, that girl wasn't around when I met her, okay? That girl just came out of nowhere, okay? But it came out when she had the confidence to step up and just be freaking awesome. And this girl, you can't shut her up now, okay? But when she first started, I have a sense that she was kind of a little bit like me, like, oh, I hope I'm saying the right thing, I hope I'm doing the right thing, like fitting into a mold. Heck no, blow the molds out of the water. You are not a mold, you are not a cookie cutter, you are freaking unique. And the minute you trust your uniqueness, the minute you bring that to the fore, trust me, people will love you because you then give them the confidence to do the same thing, okay? It starts with you. Now, I did write a couple of notes, so we are 6 minutes up to the hour, so I'm just going to run through them really, really quickly. Write this down, I beg you, write this down. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. Just do something. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one likes perfection anyway. You know why? Because perfection is not duplicatable. Duplicable? Whatever that word is. You can't duplicate perfection. And it's not authentic, okay? So imperfect action, just do something. Anything, just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there. I said this already. No one knows you're new but you. Don't tell anyone. Why tell someone? Again, if you've been in this business 7 days and you've gone through some inner circle training, some iPass training, some 15K formula training, some master's training, you are a freaking expert compared to the person who just got started, okay? And they are looking for you. So stand up, be an expert. Learn, do, teach. talked about that till cows come home. Be you. Don't pretend to be anyone else. Trust your instincts. Who was it that said that? I think Sherry said that. Trust your instincts. Okay? They're there for a reason. Okay? They guide you. All right? So go with what your inner voice is telling you to do, because that's kind of why you're here. All right? I love this one. Don't worry about making money. It will come. I promise you. When you put the money before the action, that stuff never flies, okay? But when you start putting value out there, when you start putting your authentic self out there, the money will come. Stop worrying about the money. It will come when you show up. When you show up and you start serving, you start adding value, the money will come back to you in abundance. I promise you. That's the way it works. Stand up for something, and yeah, my niche is the clueless newbie. Why? Because that was me 3 years ago, and I know how painful it was to start with no support. I know what it was like to be all alone. I know what it was like not to have access to the information I needed. That's my niche, okay? So I recommend you replay this video. I'm going to be replaying this Hangout because Nettie just blew me away and I was just not writing notes fast enough here. Replay this Hangout because there is pure gold with every single speaker. Every single one of them kicked ass. And that's what I was peeing in. You just kicked ass, girlfriend. So, yeah, this is probably one of the most rock-solid trainings we've done since we've started. So, darlings, God bless you. It was awesome to hang out with you in Orlando. And love you guys. Love you girls. And to our viewers, thank you so much for turning up. And I hope we kicked it out of the park for you. I'm going back to bed. Microphone, microphone, microphone. Microphone, microphone. Nettie, your microphone. Microphone.
There you go. I said you can't go back to bed just yet because we haven't wrapped it all up. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I can't say it enough. Like, if you didn't get some kind of value out of this tonight, and that was the basis of everything, value, value, value. Be yourself, and if you are yourself, you're going to produce value. You just are, because that's what you are. God didn't make imperfection. He made you to bring your value. So can you make a promise to yourself? A promise is what a commitment is. A promise to get going. And can you all hear me? Because I'm just getting told that you can't hear me. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyways, yeah, okay. Anyways, a promise is that you're going to join, you're going to get in, and you are not going to leave the field until the harvest comes in. You're not going to talk to yourself out of that gate before it even starts, because that's just crazy to do. Think of all the people out there that have taken a leap to bring value to their niche. The people who have made a truckload of moolah because they never gave up on bringing value to their niche. So I'm going to encourage you, click that link below to get started. Get back to the person that invited you to this hangout tonight. We want you on our team. That's what Tilt's all about. If you're not tilting, you're wilting. But just remember this. When all of us launched into our business with Ian, all the 5 girls that you see here right now, we didn't care if we knew it all. We didn't have to have all the answers. We just knew the answer to one thing. We wanted our freedom, and we were just going to talk about ourselves to get it. So take care. Have a great week. We'll see you back here again next week. It's been awesome. Love you all. Bye-bye now.